There's nothing wrong with having trauma. We all do. You need to do something about it. Come on, unpack the trauma with me.
Now, here's the thing about the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's called, what the type of coaching I do, we're dancing with our clients.
Okay.
So I can't have any predetermined thoughts or whatever you say. I'm dancing with you. Mm-hmm. You might, in the middle of coaching, 10 minutes in, say, you know what? Really, this is important to me. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Then we just re-switch. So now, is this this your most important thing? Okay. So why is this more important to you today? Mm-hmm. So we just switched because you're the client. I'm following you. Whatever it is that you want to talk about.
I love it.
So it's not, this is no, this is about you.
Do you do in person or we do like Zoom?
Zoom. It's all built in Zoom. Typically Zoom. Later on down the road, I might start doing some in persons, but right now it's set up on Zoom, so you can do it.
So it's convenient for everybody.
Yes,
Zoom.
You don't have to go nowhere. Get somewhere private where you can focus, and that's the other thing. The person has to be committed of going through the process.
Can I ask you a question? Like, you tell me, you might not be prepared for this. Like, can you give me examples on what is a youth goal, and maybe a parent and maybe a family one? There's something.
Yeah.
But say I started like this. If I came to you for coaching for youth, what would that kind of look like? Give me an example of a youth one.
So a parent would be like a sponsor. So just say, parent, hey, my son or daughter, I need them to their grades. Mm-hmm. So in this case, the parent is sponsoring them. Uh-huh. So the child is not coming to me. So that means the parent is telling me what they want me to coach the child on.
Gotcha.
The topic,
the
goal. Mm-hmm. So the parent has told me, hey, I need them to focus X, Y, and Z. So that I would present that. This is what your mom or dad wants me to coach you on.
Okay.
Then I'll begin to ask them questions and going through the same process, but they didn't choose themselves.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
That would be the difference.
Oh, okay.
And that can be anything now. If it's things dealing with communication between the two, because then I probably would say, well, I probably would want both of them.
Okay.
Coach them separately, and then maybe we can come together on a group coaching session.
Okay.
And of course, for the adults, people have problems at work, problems with family members at home. Mm-hmm. Just for friendships and relationships, man, there's so many things that I myself struggled with growing up. Mm-hmm. One of the things, communication, but I don't want to just say communication, effective communication, because we all have communication types, but they weren't effective.
Right.
Mm-hmm. How to express our feelings without getting in an argument, because we need to express our feelings.
Yes.
But we need to learn how to do that without getting into an argument.
Oh
right.
God. So you make me transition to, I believe your favorite topic is relationship.
Yes, definitely.
Before I dig into relationship, why is that important to you?
Oh man, that goes back to me being a kid.
Okay.
Elementary school, in the neighborhood, anywhere. I don't know why. The Lord knows why I am like I am, but I always wanted to see people get along.
Okay.
I was always a peacemaker, trying to get two opposing forces together, or, people get family members come or a new person come in the neighborhood. So no, come on, let's be friends with everybody. I was always that person trying to get us all connected.
Okay.
All the time. Mm-hmm. And then I can think back as far as 8 years old, me thinking about marriage and wanting to be in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And so I've always been that person. I don't know if you're familiar with Cyrano de Bergerac, I believe it is. And basically he was helping another man get a woman type of thing. I've done that in junior high school. I would write stuff for some young men in cards, and they'd pass them on because they didn't know what to say. Mm-mm. I would pick meeting places for them. I would tell them, hey, buy this, go over here, y'all kiss over there. I would literally orchestrate, direct these things. I've been doing that from a kid. It's funny. And
from a kid, but what how you did from a kid? Like, did something trigger you?
It was just within me. I don't know. I just sensitive about relationships. I don't know why it was important to me like that.
Okay.
But I've always been like that as far as I can remember.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
as far as I can remember. So this is not surprising me. So as I went along, back in 2014, between 2014 and 2016, I had the opportunity to start a relationship talk show, live show on Thursday nights, once a week. It wasn't a podcast. I mean, we were live.
Okay.
Tune in.
Oh.
Yeah, you know.
Live conversations. Live.
Yeah. And so people call in. It was good. And wow, for that 2 years, I was doing surveys, men, women, groups. I mean, it was 7 days a week. When I was off, while I'm at work, I would get calls and pages. I mean, from directors making $100,000, $200,000 a year, asking relationship questions. And I was doing this free. I wasn't making any money. I was just doing it for the passion of it. And I loved it, every second of it. And so I learned a lot myself, because that's the thing, while you're doing this, you learn about yourself too. You know, when I'm learning every tool, every process, I'm going through it as well. So I'm continually growing. And I love that part about it.
Well, and I'm listening to you. Very, very good presentation you bringing us, and there's so much needed. And I'm looking for some of my notes, but I'm just trying to go on some memory here because I kind of lost some of my data. But man, what do you think about this? Where the statistics on divorce? I think they say around the first person. How do they put that? Like each time you get remarried again, the likelihood of being divorced increases.
Yes.
To like 74% with the third time.
Yes.
What do you think about those things?
It's staggering. The divorce rate is staggering in general, and I have experienced that as well.
Okay.
Preparation. Well, let me not divert from basically what you're saying. Yes, after the first, then the increased likelihood of being divorced the second time increases, and the third exponentially after that.
Why do you think that's so?
I believe that initial taboo or fear of getting divorced and all the things that have happened, once you do it, you lost that fear. And so then not having, the sad part is I believe after the first time, then still didn't do enough research or, you know what I mean, get the tools and understanding how to be more successful the next time. And typically we don't. Because I can say I did learn more, but not to the extent that I know now that I could have done. And so then the third time, you know, if you still haven't changed anything, because that's the thing. You get a new person, but you haven't changed. And that's what people fall into. So you didn't change anything. You know, where did you grow from the first time? What did you learn, actually? So I highly recommend it. You know, before getting married, I believe, this is my personal belief, that a person, if you're thinking about getting engaged to somebody, why don't y'all start doing some couple something then?
Yeah, pre-marriage counseling.
Yeah,
couples
why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great.
Once you get engaged, you've locked yourself semi into something with expectations from others. So just say, and I do know one couple who did it. You know, hey, we do a marriage counseling, basically, kind of like before you even get engaged.
Yeah.
So at that time, you find out we don't have the same core values. Right? Oh, no, this is not going to work. So you walk away. Nobody's the wiser. And you all both go on and hopefully be in successful relationships with other people that's more in line better with, fit in line with you. Right?
Yeah, right.
But once you engaged, you tell everybody, you show the ring.
True.
You do all this stuff. Now you got these expectations from other people.
That you got to go through with it.
Right. And so now, how many times, Lord knows, I look at the groom or the bride to be before they get married, and I can see that they want to walk out. This is not going to work. But now they feel obligated.
Right.
Why? Because I've told them, people at the marriage, I've told them, look, it's still not too late. You still haven't said I do.
Right.
Don't worry about them gifts. Don't worry about the preacher and all these people here.
That can return.
This is your life.
Right.
This is your life. So I believe you should do that even before the engagement. If you're serious, you see this man and woman, you know what? I think I would like to get married to them. So start doing some counseling then. Before you get engaged. Oh my God. Before you announce anything.
This is good advice. I mean, okay, so I think it's really bad. As a licensed marriage therapist, I do counsel a lot of couples. And by the time they come to us, usually at the end.
Right.
Yeah, and then you're trying to how do we either reconcile or move forward with raising the kids in two separate homes if the kids involved. So now as a coach, I'm coming to you like, man, that ain't looking good. Would I come to you for counseling in marriage, or come to you to coach us on how to get on the same page? What would you do?
So I have
if that makes sense. What I'm saying.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So I have a marriage program that I do 12-week course.
Okay.
And so we go through different steps. And so that's for two people that's maybe they're not aligned yet, but they want to.
Okay.
They want to improve on their relationship. Okay. They want to connect. They lost a connection or never had it, but they're both on the same page about doing it.
Okay.
So then we can work.
Okay.
And go through the program. And I guarantee if you do it and y'all both, this is what you both want. Mm-hmm. This is your goal. Mm-hmm. Then, okay, how committed are you about it? And here we go. Then I deal with premaritals, beforehand, before marriage. So let's do, I work with, I'm a certified SYMBIS facilitator. So that stands for saving your marriage before it starts.
Oh, I was about to ask you what that stands for. Okay.
Save your marriage before it starts.
How you pronounce it?
SYMBIS.
SYMBIS.
Save your marriage before it starts.
Save your marriage before it starts.
And so I'm a certified facilitator of their assessment, premarital assessment. And it's very detailed. I've taken it myself, my wife. Okay. And so you can take it pre-married or marital. Okay. So say, hey, we've been married a while. We want to get better. Okay. So you can take that same assessment, go through the assessment, and it goes through finances, sexual, kids, everything you would talk about in the premarital thing. It's according to your answers. You, of course, answer honestly. And then you're going to have this beautiful printout sheet. It's actually very beautiful. Color diagrams, and then we talk about each stage of this and how we can connect and how we can make it better. Okay. It's really good. The assessment is really good.
Man, that's good. Oh. Yeah. I love it. And then the assessment, will I leave with a plan?
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, you will have the whole printout of the assessment, so you can always go back and look at it and say, okay, these things. Then we want to talk about the areas that maybe you're not aligned. And then that's when I can turn around and coach in that area. So, okay, let's see what it is. And then what is yours? So how can we come together, good. And how we work it out together? Because it's about being connected.
So some people feel like it's about, why do I need a coach if we love each other? What do you think about
that? That's funny. Because we're not given the tools growing up. Most of us were not groomed. We go back many, many years ago, and some coaches still do it. The older teach the younger. Yeah. Right? So in our culture here in America, it's sad to say, but we're groomed to be independent. We're groomed to be independent and we're not being groomed to create families and build generational wealth. Because that's how we move forward as a people. That family unit, it will always be number one. And you can put those over here and those over here. And those who are going to grow the families are the ones are going to succeed. Right. So we're not taught many things. I think for myself, as a parent, I'm a parent and a grandparent now. We can only teach what we know. So now what you know now compared to 30 years now. Oh, yeah. Right?
Big difference, yeah.
Big difference. So what we know, we teach. So our parents didn't know the things, so they couldn't teach us what they didn't know. So then as an individual, if things are not working, we got to see. Right. If you want to be successful, so a lot of people get degrees, and that's good. I'm happy about that. And I talk to people that want to get married. I said, okay, and I'll never forget this. I said, how many relationship books have you read? So you see how quiet it is right now? So one woman, she said, and she was the director, making really good money. And she said, oh, I have a book. I said, did you read it? She said, no.
It's holding the coffee.
But you have a master's degree, 6 years education. That's if you went through the first time. And that book probably would take you 4 hours. And you want to get married. So a job, we typically now, depending on how physical it is, maybe 70? Maybe 70 if you want to keep working. If it's something you enjoy, passionate about, right? Yeah. Maybe 70. But most people are going to retire 65, but they can't earlier because they did their money differently. They'd go faster, right?
Praise the Lord.
But how many people, how long do you want to be married, though?
How many what now?
How long does the person typically, when they get married, how long they plan on being married?
Hopefully forever, right?
Right? To death, what?
Do us part.
Right. So you would invest 6 years in that degree. So let's 2 years, then the bachelor's 4 years, the master's 6 years. You're doing doctorate, I don't know, 8, 12 years, depending on what it is.
Yeah, about 12 years for me.
I said, but you want your married life to last forever, and you won't read a 4-hour book.
Wow.
You won't get
to think it's supposed to just happen organically,
right,
and you don't put nothing in it. Wow.
You can't be a doctor until you start doing things. Yeah. Whatever it is, mechanic, you have to learn. And well, you typically gonna learn from someone who is a good mechanic.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to go get no jack. Would you want to learn how to play basketball from a football coach?
Probably not.
Probably not. Right? You're gonna go to someone who plays basketball.
Right.
Are you gonna choose someone that can't make shots or somebody who's scoring and the superstar?
Right.
Right?
Thanks.
So people take advice from people, friends and family that's not married, can't have a 2-year relationship. Some of them can't do 3 or 4 months, and you're taking advice from somebody that can't even do a relationship.
They say most marriages don't last. Well, for a certain age, from the first 8 years, is your hardest part of marriage.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yeah. You talk about the 7-year itch.
Oh yeah.
Right. Getting around to that. Yeah. 7 years. I have people told me that, type of thing. That's typically when things start weird. And it all comes down to connection.
Okay.
This is why my coaching, I'm about deep connections.
What do you think about, I read a study today, they call it the gray divorce. What do you think about people getting divorced past 50 now? That's a new trend. What do you think about that?
And they say it's new? They feel it's a new trend?
It's probably not necessarily new, but it's increasing maybe.
Okay. I mean, typically...
Which probably bringing attention to is what I'm thinking.
Okay. And yeah. And then something, the trendy name to it. Because that type of thing has been happening for some years. Usually, typically, the kids out of college, you know what I mean? And then what happened during that time was they were no longer connected. And that's why it's so important in your relationship, young or old, to stay connected with your spouse. Okay. So they start doing things separate, apart, right? Yeah. So when the kids were gone, then they were already separated. But for the kids' sake, keep them emotionally and what do you call it? The community to keep that face. But then after that, they part because they weren't connected. People be surprised on the outside, like, wow, y'all look like y'all was good. Well, how many times? Man, I've so many times I've seen people. And you shocked. I'm like, what? Because they've been separated for years. Y'all skipping on the beach. Because they were separated for years. Wow. Yeah. People always associate it with arguing or, really aggressive type of behavior. Stuff. Yeah, no, we don't have to be that at all.